Lisa, they got there in the third quarter, got within 6. You guys settled after the little surge and the string of turnovers, and then Taryn was 3 straight 3-pointers in a row. Really got you back there.
Yeah, she gave us a big lift right there. It's hard to do. You know, she was sidelined with fouls in the first half, and so didn't play a ton of minutes. It wasn't like she, you know, Allie, Neshi, those guys are warm. Taryn sat for quite a while, and I actually was on her about a defensive missed assignment too, right before she knocked down those threes. So I think to stay steady through that and to just be ready, you know, with their feet set. We always want our shooters to have our feet set, and I'm grateful that the ball didn't stick. I thought that was one of the high points of today was the ball was moving pretty freely around, and so when she was open and the ball needed to find her, it did. It's hard. It's hard when you have Allie and Paige and Taryn and Inesh and Lauren, like some of the like. I don't know who you don't guard, right? You have to guard them all. And I think Allie garnishes a lot of attention. Obviously, Lauren does too. And so Taryn, you know, she's ready and lets it fly. And I thought that Ju had a nice one too. She was in rhythm. And so I think our shooters were pretty ready to shoot when the ball came to them, which is important for us.
Coach, can you kind of talk about how good Lauren Whitaker has been so far? Not just in today's game, but like the entire season through the first couple of games.
Yeah, she's a stud. You know, if I would have been talking about Yvonne Ejim and the Trongs and all these people over the last 2 years that she's been here, or year and a half that she's been sidelined at Gonzaga, then you would have known a little bit more about her. But she's a really good player. She's very well rounded. She's still making some freshman mistakes. I don't think she's been, even back home, she's not been on this kind of usage. And this is new for her, and it's just a little bit different, right? But she is capable of scoring anywhere. She's so strong. You know, she can guard. I think that, you know, I don't know how long it's going to take, but she's going to be in the conversation for Defensive Player of the Year. We have her guarding interior players right now. She could very easily guard any of their guards as well. You know, she's just that capable as a defender. So there's not a lot that she can't do. She's a really good player. She's a great add to our team, and I think she's going to be an important part of what we do, you know, each game and for a long time.
Last time we saw you against Stanford, it was about turnovers eating points. I mean, you guys still had 22 total turnovers, but able to limit those points after them. Is there like, I'm trying to phrase this question right. Are people playing out of control maybe, or is it just like lapses in mental? I mean, what is it that leads to those turnovers?
Yeah, you know, I have to look. I think game to game. I told you guys early that I think maybe it was against. I don't know. Maybe I just told. You in like a phone interview or something. But if there are turnovers of aggression. And that's better than those turnovers of omission or the unforced ones, you know, the unforced ones that are us trying to run in transition. Okay, we want to run in transition. We had 10 transition baskets today that we made. I don't know how many we left out there by either missing the layup, turning it over, or having a missed free throw. But we didn't have any missed free throws, so it wasn't that. But, you know, those are the kind that we want to push the ball harder. We have some people, you know, Allie is so comfortable just bringing it up, and we want her to let it go. And I don't think hers were necessarily transition passes, but some of it is that. So I think some of it is out of control. I think some of it is trying to thread the needle at times where we don't need to. And I think some of it is when we get discombobulated running average offense, then usually it ends in a poor shot or a turnover. And so that's a connection point that we need to continue to shore up. So I think it's coming from a lot of different areas. We definitely can't afford it. I mean, it's rare that you have 22 turnovers. Luckily, we were good in all the other categories, but it's just very rare against quality teams that you can win turning the ball over that much. They're just, not only are they taken away from us, they're given to the other team. So it's not like a missed shot, right? It's something that's additive to them as well. So we certainly need to do a better job with that. And at last game, our forwards had a grip of them. I mean, everybody had them today, but our starting guards can't have 12 combined. And then our high minute forwards they're all new. And we go a lot through the high post and through the low post, and we expect our forwards to make a lot of decisions and a lot of passes. So I think that hopefully as we get a little bit more comfortable with what our reads are, we'll grow out of that.
What adjustments did you like today that you guys are focused on from the South Dakota game or even the Stanford game these past 3 games to bring into today and bring out a win?
Well, I would have liked to have won all the quarters, but the disparity in the third and then the way we took care of business in the other quarters, that's what we're trying to sustain, right? We're having competitive stamina. That's some terms that we've used in the past. And, Allie brought it up to us in the beginning of the second quarter because our second quarters haven't always been great so far. And so she did bring it up to us, and we had a really nice second quarter. I think that after coming out of halftime, we need to dig in a little bit for a little bit of toughness so that we can excel at that point too. And it kind of the who lands the first punch type of situation in that quarter because you are tired. And so we need to do better that. But I think the execution was better. We shot it better. I think we defended the 3-point line better. They have good shooters too, and they were all mostly contested. I think that's why they struggled. So, we didn't rebound it quite as well. We turned it over just as much. So I think some of those execution pieces are probably going to be what stands out on paper, on the film. Sorry, I'm tired.
Anyone else?
Yeah, I wanted to ask about this week. Obviously, you're going to face Indiana, might face Iowa State and Marquette. Competition level is good.
Yeah, they're really good. All three of those teams are really good, and they'll be different. They'll be big. They'll be, they'll propose different problems for us. Our message in the locker room was just that we have to build on today. That we can't be results oriented. That's not our goal. Our goal is to be better in our next game than we were in our last one. And so over the next couple days, but after they get a little bit of rest tomorrow, that's the goal, is to figure out, our coaching staff is diligently scouring the film, trying to figure out how fast we can improve. What's the rate of improvement, and what areas we can get the most bang. What do we need to focus on so that we can be better on Friday than we were today? Were you going to ask one too? I'm sorry.
What?
Were you going to ask me something too?
I was gonna ask you something about Taryn and like her role, but I know you already talked about her a little bit. But she did say, she kind of thinks her role is trying to spark something off the bench. Is that kind of what she is, or what is her role?
Well, I love when it works out where you can bring shooters in off the bench. And she's also a hustle player, and she's also getting rebounds. So she happens to be a lot of the things that you want coming in from the bench. You got to bring something if you're a bench player. And we've had years where it's, we didn't actually start Brenna her first few games with us until Kaylee got hurt because we needed to bring in something dynamic, right? And her scoring was dynamic. And so Taryn, I think, fits all of the areas that you want to come in. If you need energy, you got Taryn. If you need shooting, you got Taryn. If you need, she's going against sometimes a second tier defender, which we always like, right? We've toyed with that with the forwards too, is if you can bring in a really quality forward who gets to go against a tired first string post player or a secondary post player, then that's good for you. So I think Taryn, she's doing a really good job. We need to keep her in the game. So she's got in foul trouble a couple of our games, mostly from hustle plays. They're not necessarily reaches and those kind of things, but she really can bring 3 different elements to us. And as she continues to build in those areas, it's going to make a huge impact. If we need rebounding, you can be the answer. And I tell my team all the time, you want, whenever coach says we need blank, your name to be the answer. And there are times when Taryn is the answer to all of those things. So that's good for her and good for us.